Glasgow was really successful during the Industrial Revolution because it had already established itself as one of the most important ports within the British Empire. After the First and Second World Wars, quite a lot of the shipyards went out of business, unfortunately. Clyde Waterfront Strategic Partnership is responsible for coordinating and promoting all of the regeneration that is going along the river from Glasgow city centre via Renfrew down to Dumbarton, which is actually 13 miles. Our overall vision for Clyde Waterfront is for it to become a thriving and vibrant location that's attractive internationally for investors, businesses and indeed people to come and work and live in the area.
In Glasgow, we are very much focused on the design and manufacture of the warship. Technology has helped in the design process. We are now designing ships a lot faster. In previous years, when we were manufacturing Type 21 and Type 23 frigates for the Royal Navy, a lot of engineering was done on a drawing board and set squares and rulers, etc. But obviously now we've moved on to new computer-aided design packages. On average, we are investing about between £4 and £5 million per year on training and development of the whole workforce. So we are training the new breed of talent coming into the organisation for sure.
Technology has moved at a fantastic pace. You're now seeing welders using robots. You're now seeing burners using computerised numerical control machines to cut plate. It's a fantastic technology and it's really quite exciting. And engineers do get excited about it. And we are training their apprentices to work on that level of technology. As long as we have big firms, the likes of BA Surface Ships, Rolls-Royce, global companies dealing with global markets, there will always be engineering in Glasgow.
Well, I started out as an engineering apprentice. I left school at 16 to do a traditional engineering apprenticeship. I bought into Clyde Blowers in 1992. It was a business that I had some experience of. It's keeping the thermal efficiency of large coal-fired power plants by keeping the heat exchanger surfaces clean whilst the boiler is running. So it's quite sophisticated equipment. We need entrepreneurs, plenty of them in Glasgow, to start new businesses and grow new businesses, and encouraging existing businesses to raise their sights and look further afield. There are lower cost countries that can do things cheaper than we can. China, India. Also, the large markets that we are supplying are in countries like that, and that leaves you focusing on higher value added products in the UK.
Forging and conforming are probably the oldest metalworking processes known to mankind, and they are important because they allow us to take metallic materials and make them into shapes that are useful for human beings. And what we're really looking at is having a complex suite of tools which allow us to manufacture components to very precise shapes. The main reasons that most companies approach us to carry out work for them is really to address the three sort of key drivers within manufacturing, which are reduction of cost, improved productivity and improved performance of the components for manufacture. The Advanced Forming and Research Centre was set up by Strathclyde University and a consortium of manufacturing companies really to take academic research and take that up to a level where it can be exploited by manufacturing industry. So it really plugs the gap in between sort of blue skies activity and manufacturing.
Our relationship with Agreco has just started in August 2009 and it's taken off, I think, in a way beyond even our own expectations. It's been absolutely fantastic. I think it's vital for students to see that what they're learning in the classroom has a relevance in the outside world.
Good morning everyone, welcome to Agreco.
We're the world leader in the supply of temporary power and temperature control, which probably in itself doesn't mean a great deal. So to give you an example, and an example that people would recognise, we did 50% of the temporary power for the Beijing Olympics.
It's important that they realise that Agreco is worldwide. And one of the things I say to them is, what's the connection between Denison, Dumbarton and Beijing? And the answer is Agreco, because they're based in all of those areas. And I think that's important for them to realise that a company that has its headquarters in Glasgow is a worldwide product.
Contact centres are everywhere in the UK. Glasgow sort of stole a march in the early days because it lost its heavy shipbuilding industry and its manufacturing base, and was actually very quick off the mark to get in new service sector business. There is a real move now to get more out of contact centres than in the past, which was all about volume and getting through as many customers as you could. The job of somebody who's serving a customer is infinitely more complicated than it was some years ago. They have to think on their feet, they have to empathise with the customer, they have to be able to record a lot, they have to problem solve, they have to access perhaps several screens simultaneously to answer an inquiry. Many things are done in an automated way now, so the simple inquiries are sorted out on the web and just through general automated services, automated voice services, for example. And what's left, therefore, is by its very nature more complicated.
Our international links are important because more and more of our clients are becoming international, and therefore they're looking for risk transfer and insurance solutions that will help make them more successful wherever they are around the world. Therefore, with our global network, we can give a consistent standard of service. We can use our knowledge of local territories, so we make better and more effective use of our knowledge globally. Our key asset is the strength and quality and talent of our colleagues and the service, therefore, that they can deliver to our clients.
When we started business, we started with 8 people, and we've now grown to a team of 40 design professionals throughout the UK, from Glasgow, Manchester and London. Clients today are becoming a lot more sophisticated in how they reach their audience, and the brand is critical in how they do that and how they create an empathy with their audience. A lot of the major UK consultancies are going abroad to look for business. I think the fact that communications these days doesn't really matter where you're based. Your client can be anywhere in the world, and at the press of a button you can see the work you're doing, you can communicate. There is much more of a creative bias in the city now than there was previously. The creative industries, fashion, music, digital art, will be critical to the success of Glasgow in the future.
Glasgow as a city has changed quite dramatically. In fact, the media campus that's built here is a very, very exciting concept because it's actually focusing for the first time a lot of very high-end creative activity, but in that concept also there's a lot of high-end technologies. One of the foundations of setting up the digital design studio was to actually move from the conventional world into a digital world where everything is built in 3D, but also more importantly how we visualize that data. So one of the exciting concepts, for example, we're pioneering here on site is the teaching of interactive digital anatomy. And we believe it's going to transform in the future teaching for medical education, not just in Scotland, but again worldwide. In this building, for example, we're virtually prototyping ships and complex platforms and oil platforms. So the physical building of these products has stopped, but actually we're now building the virtual equivalents, and I think that's very exciting. So that conceptual engineering, that high-end creativity still continues to this day.
We're very fortunate to be working in the healthcare industry because it's one of the industries which continues to grow. We also work within a segment of the healthcare industry which is biologics and biopharmaceuticals. These new forms of drugs, which are much more targeted to treating diseases, are increasing in the number of drugs that are available as they focus on specific cancer treatments, arthritis treatments, and more recently vaccine treatments. BioAlliance works with the top 10 pharma companies in the world and the top 10 biotech companies in the world, and they expect top-class standard from any company that's providing them service. In order for us to help them with their regulatory approvals, we have to operate with the best science, the best quality, and we can only deliver that with the best people. And we have them here in Glasgow.